I don't know what this one's going to be about. Oh, we got Q. I don't know any of these people. Oh, actually, I think she's another fitness person. Oh, and that's a Twitch streamer. I think that's Angelic, her name. Anyway, we got Q. Love Q. Q's cool. This question always gets them riled up. I don't know what the question is, but I'm sure it'll rile them up. Let's see what's going on.
Would you rather come across a random man or a random bear in the
man
woods?
versus
Starting
bear.
with you, go ahead.
What's probably a bear, honestly.
Okay. What about you?
I've dealt with the dark sides of a man before. I think I could survive it again.
So your answer to the question is man?
I'll take a man. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a complete stranger.
Yeah, random man, random bear.
A bear.
Oh, I wonder what
Speaking
country
as a
she's
woman
from.
that's been
Can
physically
you
hurt.
tilt your mic
Speaking
down
as a woman
Tilt
that.
oh my God, other way. Okay, go ahead.
Speaking as a woman that has been physically hurt by a man, I will always pick the bear.
Okay.
Man. Bear. I'll take the bear. Man.
That's definitely Angelic.
No, because you could just run away from a bear. I mean, they're not really gonna they're so big and chunky. Just run.
You do realize
Can you, though?
bears are
Oh,
faster.
they're
Bears are faster.
Yeah,
than
bastards
men.
are faster than Usain Bolt.
There's no
Yeah,
running
bears are
from a
crazy.
bear.
Man. Wait, what was your justification for picking the bear?
Mine?
Yeah.
Because I've been physically hurt by a man before. Talking
Okay.
sexually.
Okay.
And I know that a random man seeing somebody, not just me, any woman, like the worst thing a bear could do to me is kill me. The man could do 1,000 things to me before he kills me.
So going around the table
man
once
versus
more,
bear.
what do you think the percent, since this is, we're basically plucking a random man out of the population, what do you think the percentage chance is of if a random man in this
But what about
scenario,
the bear?
what's the chance that he would attempt to violate you in some way? Either he would assault you, try to kill you, whatever. What do you think the percentage chance is that a man
Hold
would
up.
try to
We're
attack
going to look
you?
this up really quick. We're going to Google this. We're going to figure this out. Are you more likely to be attacked by a man you encounter or a bear you encounter? And hopefully it gives me the information that I'm actually looking for. Okay. Okay, but that's just the general chances. Okay, that's like a annoying answer. Okay, but this is how many bears kill people, not how many. It's not by encounter. Do we want to use Reddit? Fuck it, we'll check Reddit. We'll see. Basically, Oh, okay. Okay, so there's more fatal encounters than non-fatal encounters, but what is an encounter? Because, like, I've come across a bunch of bears, I have before, and we didn't necessarily have an encounter. Like, we saw each other, they ran off, or whatever. Most bear encounters end with a bear running away. It seems like it's the bear. It seems like it's the bear because most of the time the bear runs away. Um, let's see if there's something. Generally, bears leave you alone. Yeah, I think it's the bear. I don't think that's how they're gonna see it, but I think it might be the bear.
Wait, but you're in the forest alone with him, just to confirm.
Yeah, so you are in both the scenarios. You do come across either the random man or the random bear. So it's not like you're crossing paths basically.
Oh, okay.
It's not like you're in like a.
Like so.
It's not like a
so
10
slim.
mile. It's not like a 10-mile radius.
Yeah, very slim.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let's go around the table. Go ahead.
Okay.
What percentage chance do you think, like, of a random man attacking you?
Maybe we should look that up too.
Big ideas.
Me?
What's the percentage of men that you think would randomly attack you?
Interesting. Let's look that up too. What percentage of men have attacked a woman okay, so not helpful. %43 of men reported that they had committed some type of that seems crazy. Dang. 34%, 25 to 57%, 43%. I need to read this. Few participants Okay, so it wasn't physical force though. Okay, so wow, this person just completely lied about what the study said. So now I don't trust this one either. Hmm. Um, so there is no conclusion. But it seems like it's about
Three,
a third or something. That's
maybe.
kind of
3%.
crazy.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, below 10.
Can't really trust anybody, but I would hope 5% or below.
I'm not participating in this conversation because I have been hurt by multiple men. So I don't even want to think about the statistic personally. And you can judge me for that all you want.
Okay, what about you?
Maybe like, yeah, 3%.
6.
I have to go 50-50.
50-50, okay.
Under
That's
5%.
huge. Yeah, probably under 5. I'll agree with that.
Okay. Would it be 50-50 for you, you think too, or?
Not 50-50, but there's plenty of like men in my life that I've met that have really surprised me with their words and actions towards me when they think no one is looking.
Okay. Well, so for you, 50-50. So you think, let's say it's the like, what's the population of the U.S.?
I want to give you a hug.
330 million?
Yeah, something like that.
Or just the
Let's
men?
just say 300 million.
Okay.
So 150, let's say it's 160 million. So you think 80 million men in the United States would victimize you?
Who knows? Maybe. I mean, some random man in the woods. I don't know what he's gonna do to me.
Mm-hmm.
I said 50-50.
I actually feel like in the woods,
50% chance he could
it's
help me, or there's a 50%
chance
he could
probably
do
goes
something horrible to me.
down because most people in the woods are just like they're there to be in the woods.
So just to be clear,
like, you're not
you think
expecting to come across
if
a
we
random
plucked
victim in the
out
woods if you're like a serial
a random
predator
man
or something.
from the United States population, you think it's 50% of the U.S. population would be inclined to victimize you in some way?
Who knows?
So just to be clear, what is it? So 160 million men, 80 million men would, in the United States currently, would be inclined to victimize you in some way.
There are some bad men out there.
Yes, some.
I know you're
very
trying to
few,
say not
very
all men
few
are
actually.
bad. I get it, yeah, but I'm just throwing a number out there. You just asked me for my like.
No, but I mean,
I don't know the numbers we read.
Yeah, I
It
didn't
could be
ask you, but
a third,
That's my
maybe.
answer.
There's a lot
Is
of.
that based off
don't
like?
you think it's a
But
little high?
but is that like
There's a lot of
based off
question
of just
there,
like
though.
what you think or what's actually real?
I don't know what's actually real. I mean, I just,
I mean, it's true. I don't think any of us know what's actually real.
Okay.
Well,
But we're-
so how do you come to that conclusion then? I mean, how are you perceiving it in your head? How do you interpret that? Like,
I
what
don't
are
know.
you doing
50-50 isn't like a
leads you to
conclusion you come to
50?
mathematically or logically.
What
She
are you
just
thinking
was like,
about?
I don't know, maybe like half. I
It's
don't
just
know.
all intuitive. It's just
I'm a
you just
woman.
feel that way.
I am
What
a
is that?
woman.
What does
I've
that
had
mean?
men do bad things to me too. Okay, I don't.
Okay, so
I think this conversation's really heavy for what we intended this open panel discussion to be. Just saying.
okay, but let me introduce this factor. We said random man. The men who have done things to you were men that you knew, correct? So who do you
That's a good point from Q. If it's a random stranger, you're like way less likely to be attacked.
think is more likely to do something to you? Aren't perpetrators of violent crime or victimizing women typically somebody you know? It's a random man in the woods.
Listen, I've been in situations where I was getting into a car with my friends, right, in like NorCal, and there was just like men like trying to follow us to our car. At one point, we all got into the
That shit's crazy. Don't follow women around if they don't want to hang out with you. What is wrong with you people?
car, and we locked it, and as soon as we locked it, there was a man trying to like pull on our handle and get in the car, like with us. Like it was just some random dude. I didn't know that dude. So it could be anyone. Like,
yeah, and that must have been, you know, scary,
Scary,
and super creepy and absolutely wrong for them to do.
It's obviously hard to make an objective stance when you've been subjected to something like that. It's very hard to just like, you know, it's very hard to kind of take that kind of stance. But I'm gonna also just kind of look at this objectively. I think most men are not predators. The ones that are can really mess up somebody's life. So it's kind of hard to even talk about it. But I would have to say I think most men are not predators. That's why I say I would rather take my chance.
The reason I brought this up, going back to her point over there, how she was saying it was giving her woman hater, it was giving her the woman hater. All of you who said bear gives me massive, it's giving me man hater.
I don't really think that's fair.
I'm a man hater. I think I'm just.
I don't think that's fair at all. That's absurd. If you feel some kind of way about a woman in your life saying like she picks the bear or whatever, then just be a better man. Like, just don't be one of those guys. Like it's that simple. No, there's no, at least in my experience, there's no woman out there that are swearing off of men because of the man versus bear because they chose the bear. Like that's not a thing. Okay.
Just scared of what a man would do. Like, should the situation, like, you didn't say if it was dark, you didn't say like how close we were. Like, I think it's like you never know what like even if it was a woman, obviously I feel more comfortable, but it's like you never know what anyone's gonna do. Like in Sydney, like the most we can do is literally, I don't know if you're allowed to say like stab, but like that's the most we can do. But like it could be like the most random person ever. Like you could just never know. But with a bear, like they don't know how to use a gun. They don't know how to do anything other than like run after you, I guess to say. Like it's like you know what the outcome would be, which would be death, I guess. But with another person.
Look, if you answer bear, it's just not like a rational or logical choice.
I mean, we just kind of looked into it a little bit, and I don't think it's that irrational. I don't think it's that irrational of a choice. Now, because it's the woods and because it's strangers, it probably does bring the likelihood way down compared to like a bear. But also, most bears don't bother you when they come across you. They just don't. They're not into that.
But bear attacks happen a lot less than men on the
That's because women are not in the woods.
Yeah.
Do you know what per capita is?
Yes.
So think of all the men you've walked past that did absolutely nothing to you.
In public. That's totally different.
I've seen quite a few bears as well. I'm from Canada.
But you can't walk past that many bears with nothing not happen.
Lol Paladins donated $200. Random man on the panel. If it's 50-50, that means at least one of the three men in the room with you right now
not Q.
would victimize you. This is madness.
Yep. Look, I just think it's basically kind of social signaling about how women don't like men and how they.
Yeah, but it's not, because every woman that chooses the bear still hangs out with men. They still interact with men. They still date men. They all are fine answering bear and then hanging out with men. Like this is crazy.
Feel unsafe around men. How you feel about a situation and the reality of a situation are completely different. Again, this is a scenario where you're gonna either cross paths with a totally random man and a totally random bear.
I also didn't quite understand that it was literally crossing paths. I thought it was more like,
I hate that this is actually like it's actually like a stirring question going around right now, because there's also the side of like women who have kind of been more so conditioned to, who've been more conditioned to, like, you know.
Fun fact, real fast, before she finishes her point there. Men who assault women are able to tell by, and they did like a study on this, by the way those women walk, that they are prior victims of that type of assault. So like apparently men who do this can tell which women have already been victimized and would be like maybe an easier target. Very interesting information.
Look in the back of your car before you get inside. You know, don't wear your hair in a ponytail. It's easier for them to grab you. You know, don't go somewhere.
That way.
This way?
Keep going. Yeah.
YouTube ads is made for your business. Bring your brand to life with targeted video ads. And connect.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, don't go to the gas station alone at night, you know, just like kind of stuff like that. It's kind of been something, at least my mom taught me those things. So I think we might have that initial fear, but I think if we're talking about like the odds, then the odds of a man actually wanting to like hurt you, you know, is probably very, very slim. But like I said, the men who do really traumatize a woman forever.
But I think that's where it's coming from, is like it's not necessarily coming from a place of hate, it's coming more so from a place of trauma. I think a lot of people, humans in general, have difficulty confronting their trauma and working through it, and rather they project it onto other people. And so in this situation, I think that's what's happening with that question.
That's why I don't like the question.
It's definitely more fear-based and not like resentment.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But you do have a bias against men.
I don't though.
How could you, if you think that X% of men, like if you'd rather pick the bear over the men.
Thinking that does not mean that you have like some bias against men at all. It just means that you are rightfully, most likely rightfully, more cautious around men when you're alone in the woods. Or alone anywhere. I don't know why they had to bring the woods into this. The woods is a generally peaceful place.
Man, you do have a bias against.
Unless you're a squirrel.
Men.
That's the knowing.
Do you know the
men out there are bad?
Yes, you're absolutely right. There are terrible.
I'm not putting a figure on it.
Right, but there are absolutely terrible men out there. I don't disagree. I'm not saying all men are good. There are absolutely terrible men out there. But if you do like a base level of analysis and being rational and logical, the vast majority of men would not victimize you. It's a majority of men. Very few men would look.
I guess all the bad ones
there's a large
LA.
population. So like there's a large population. So even 1% of men, that's a fuck ton of men, right? But like just statistically speaking, it just logically doesn't make any sense to pick the bear. Okay, let me ask you guys a different question. If me, Q, and Nick snapped our fingers and we were just bears right now, do you guys think you would be safer? If
I'd cross paths with bears in Yosemite
Answer the question. If me, Q, and Nick just randomly, I'm a black
in a tiny
bear,
little
Q's,
room like that,
wait,
no, they would not be safer.
Maybe Q should be the. Sorry.
No.
Although I don't even know.
Okay,
it might be as safe.
Q's the
I
grizzly.
feel like the bears would
I'm
be
the black
confused.
bear. Nick's the panda bear.
Oh my gosh.
Are you safer than if we just stay men? Right now.
Well, the
Panda's
question
not
wasn't
gonna-
If Nick's a panda bear,
the
yeah,
question
they're all
wasn't
set.
in a room, like.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we can just change it. Would you rather be in a room with a bear or with a man?
With
10 by 10 room.
Can
with
I
a man.
actually ask?
So that changes the psychology of the bear significantly. In that situation, yeah, you pick the man because he's either going to be the scary man or the not scary man. all the bears that are trapped in a room with you are gonna way more likely to turn into the scary bear.
Get a little differently. I've thought about this. I
Okay,
don't
go
know.
ahead.
Instead of like in a room with a man or bear, like can you name a man that you would be comfortable in a room with, like a male celebrity, just for argument's sake? Like,
You should not be comfortable with celebrity. That's she's in for a boy.
I don't know if it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah,
of
that kind of undermines.
Also, it just actually is easier to defend yourself against a bear than a harmful man. That is actually fact.
No, that's ridiculous.
No, it isn't. There are different tactics for grizzly bears, black bears. Like, it's actually, if you know how to...
She's right. She's correct in the woods. Not in a little room, though. In a little room, none of those things work anymore.
Clear. Let's assume the man's violent and the bear's violent.
Okay.
They both have the intention of attacking you. You think you can better defend yourself against a bear?
Yeah.
Explain to me how.
With a grizzly bear, you literally just have to make yourself super big and scream at it, and most of the time they will retreat. Yes. And with the black bears are relatively docile.
In the
black
woods,
bear can still fuck you
this
up. Let's
is
assume
true.
they're both-
This would
they're
not be
violent.
true in this room, though.
I mean, they both can be.
Okay, let's assume that the man has you by the arms and the bear has you by the arms.
Okay, but that is not the argument.
Which
one? If you were being attacked, I would probably choose the bear. But if I was crossing paths and both had the intent to attack,
shit.
Google it.
We know what they tell you to do, but that wouldn't work.
Grid One Motorsports donated $200.
Bears do you guys
All
see
I
here?
am hearing ID a bunch of women's that are going to end up
would
alone
not
in a
work.
room full of
It
cats.
Literally
Your
does.
future divorce lawyers are
No, that's what they
salivating
tell you to
watching
do. It's a
this.
safety precaution.
Grid-
that
yo,
gives you the
what's
best
up, Grid
chance.
One?
That doesn't mean it's gonna work.
No, there's bears
True.
all
That's
over Canada.
I know.
Tried and
I've
true.
studied biology a long
Tried and
time.
true.
Can you pull up the supers?
We need to pull up bears attacking people.
Yeah.
There's some crazy
Real.
videos.
See what they
Yeah, we
do.
need to pull up. We need to pull up the videos.
People have been sending me a ton of videos, but I don't have like any just like really good one. Let's see.
Also, grizzly bears very rarely kill. Very, very, very rarely. They'll fuck you up.
We should pull up the statistics on how often a woman is killed by a man in the U.S. And then the bear.
It's not per
Okay,
capita,
but you gotta
though.
understand.
It's not. Yeah, it's not per capita.
Like how many men have you guys all walked past? How many bears have you all walked past? I'm pretty confident. Let's just say it was a
It's
1
not
for
relative,
1.
yeah.
Hold on. If it was a 1-for-1 ratio, if you had to walk past as many bears as you've walked past men, you would all be dead.
Okay, great. Can we go to the next question?
You've probably all encountered thousands of men. Walked past thousands of men. If you walked past thousands of bears, you're getting fucked up. I'm just saying that bear's killing. We're all dead. For all of us, we're all dead. Okay.
There's a lot of women though that
don't
have
actually
been
think so. In the
assaulted or
woods,
something,
probably
or
not.
have been in that
Yes.
position. So it's hard for those women to answer this question, and so that's why it is such a sensitive topic, because it's hard for us to answer these questions. But
Yeah, I get it.
And frankly, there's a huge lack of understanding that I feel is based in resentment coming specifically from you, and it's really making me uncomfortable in this room.
Yo, actually, though,
Anyways.
like relax. It's not that
What's
big of
the
a deal
resentment?
if they choose.
You have a resentment of us.
It's not that big of a deal. Like, they all came here to hang out with you
Answering
on your
the-
silly podcast. Like, they obviously don't hate men because they're choosing the bear. Like, this is crazy.
Very question that you are asking us and getting annoyed with us when we tell you our answer, and then trying to beat your answer into us until we believe whatever you're saying. And it's kind of getting old.
I mean, quite frankly, they wouldn't get it, so that's why they don't.
Maybe you
They
guys
wouldn't.
don't get it. And it seems like you're resentful of men. But so why is it
Yeah, but it sounds like she has a perfectly valid reason to be.
No, she just has a fear, and very rightfully so. That's why she wants to move on. So
right? But okay, hold on. Here's the thing. How is it like...
You not being able to accept our answers and move on from the question comes off as resentful.
How is it resentful to have a difference of opinion? You requested to be on the show. Like, yeah, we have adversarial conversations. This is a topic that came up. It was in response to something that she brought up. And it occurs to me, like, if she was making the argument that I'm resentful because I have these biases. She claims I have biases when it comes to divorce, all this stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, let's turn it around on you guys. Do you guys have any biases against men? Clearly you do. That's the whole point of the bear versus man experiment.
Well, no,
and
the whole point of the person who came up
if
with
we
it
look at the math, if we think of this logically,
was picking the bear.
Like, I know how you feel about the situation.
And it was
I
a
get
man.
it. But just logically, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And you can say it's resentful, but like the reason I'm giving you pushback on your worldview, I understand this is an uncomfortable conversation for you, but if the sky is blue and you guys say, no, the sky is red, and I give you pushback on your worldview, I'm like, no, the sky's blue.
The sky is red sometimes.
That's not me being
orangey red.
Being resentful. That's just me challenging what I view as your either erroneous take.
I don't think you'll ever understand what it's like to live and be a woman.
And you wouldn't understand what it's like to be a man. Yeah. And have women irrationally have women irrationally fear you just by virtue of you being a man.
Yeah, but there's not like an externality about that. That, like, bro, crazy. Sorry, but that's crazy. You gotta chill.